Cool shoes. My brother would love those.
Ooh, I don't share my sources.
Well, I just found them using Circle to search with Google on my new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6.
What?
And I texted them to my brother on the other side of this massive screen.
Where did you get that phone?
Lucky for you, I don't gatekeep my sources. Tell them.
Get your own Galaxy Z Fold 6 now at Samsung.com. Requires internet connection. Results may vary by uniqueness, clarity, and framing of circled image and related factors.
I don't know if 25 years equals a dynasty, but for Las Vegas, it's pretty damn close. Our city is electing a new mayor this November that won't be a member of the Goodman family. So today on CityCast Las Vegas, I sit down with the one and only Mayor Carolyn Goodman to reflect on her tenure in office, the highs and lows, and how she hopes the Goodman legacy plays out for Las Vegas. It's Monday, September 16th. I'm Dayvid Figler, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Mayor Goodman, you've been in office here as the Las Vegas mayor since 2011. Before that, you were in the education space. So let me just jump off right away. What letter grade are you going to give yourself as mayor for the last 13 years, and why? Show your work.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I probably give myself a question mark. It's not for me to judge me. I'm comfortable in my own skin. And to be perfectly honest, I know I've done my very best all the time. Of course, like everyone else, make mistakes. But no, I just know I judge people by their truth and the respect they have for what they're doing and their honesty. And so on those things, I can look in the mirror every morning, get up and say, keep it going.
All right. Well, you were reelected twice more after the 2011 election. In 2015, you got more than half the vote in the primary, thereby winning it outright. And in 2019, it was an astounding 83.5% of the vote. So let me ask you this. What major accomplishments do you think really resonated with those voters?
You know, I think I've been first of all, I'm a registered nonpartisan. And have been that probably since 2003, 2004. And because of my life and how I was raised, everything I believe in, I accept all people.
But let me ask you more specifically, Mayor, what policies that you enacted or accomplishments during your tenure are you most proud of?
Goodness. You know, it depends where in the spectrum you're looking at. Are you looking at education? Are you looking at security? Are you looking at transportation? Well, and of course, Oscar's 12 years being beside him through that, these 25 years. You can't encapsulate that to give you anything. You name the area. It's like what we've been doing and will continue to be doing in the future in our work with the homeless. And where I'm the biggest advocate for creating the courtyard because we had so many people out in the community and unfortunately because of the condition they were in, were unable to get off the streets and were disruptive to business and everything else.
Sure. I mean, you got to agree, homelessness is growing in our city. And I'm wondering if you could go back in time and you had unlimited resources, would you still have gone with this courtyard homeless resource model or would you have tried something else?
Well, that's all we had at the point. We had all these people dying on the streets, either burning to death in the heat, no place to lie down, no security. And the first thing I did every time Oscar opened up his council meetings with the social services, nobody came. Why? Because they didn't want to give up their drugs and alcohol and everything else. The reality was our courtyard is low barrier and it has 24-hour-a-day security and it's safe. And now we have kennels and it's continuing. But what needs to happen, they need to build this with the food supplements and the social services in every quadrant of the city. We are not the only place that's going to have a recuperative care center. We are doing it all because when we make up our minds and we see a problem, we fix it. The rest of the areas aren't doing it. They need to get on with us. And the biggest problem are the laws that are preventing us for people who are criminals or who are really, truly mentally beyond repair, except to medicate and give them safety and exercise and food and have them. When I was a little girl, they were called sanitariums. These are people back 3-4 years ago. One had stabbed to death another homeless lady probably 47 times. He wasn't stabbing a lady, he was killing bugs or something.
Yeah, no, the mental illness is huge. You know, your friend and city councilman Brian Knutson came on this podcast, and he said that the Homeless Resource Center, while again it's all that you have, he gave it a C+ grade. Do you think that there are some challenges and problems that needed to be fixed or that should be fixed with the homeless courtyard?
What I think, I mean, he's entitled to his reason without him on right now in this conversation, why he said that. Of course, we don't have the money. We are the city. We don't have those resources, which is why I started the Mayor's Fund for Las Vegas Life, so the private sector could make donations to the fund that we could then put into whatever, whether it's building up the West Side and helping support transportation there, or this downtown homeless center that now people will come in because they have animals, and we have a little animal place. We have permanent toilets and showers where we used to rent the porta potties. Only 3 of them, and that's all we could afford for the hundreds of homeless.
Yeah, I mean, showers would come up in a truck. People would get into the van.
And sanitize them once. Now we're sanitizing every single day. But where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
The taxes. Where are the taxes to support something that's so benevolent as this? And of course it's a C+ because we don't have the funds and we're responsible for doing so much else. But in the city of Las Vegas, we attend to what needs to be attended to. And we can't get it to perfection because we don't have the funds, but at least we can start and at least not sit there like dummies and just watch these problems grow. There is no community in the world people will live in or move to that isn't safe. You're not going to raise a family, you're not going to invest in it. And so safety for me has always been number one, and it will remain that. And since I've been mayor, it's been the absolute tip of the iceberg. And then transportation and the environment, as I sit here in City Hall right now and look at all this fire, and my staff has told me, even this morning, Mayor, can't you stop all this pollution?
Can't you stop the smoky wildfires, Mayor? Why can't you, Mayor Carolyn Goodman, personally go and put out all those wildfires?
Well, or as they say, how about building a wall 20 miles high, which will keep all the smoke to the west? But the city has been very involved in that through the U.S. Conference of Mayors, our climate control, and what we've been doing. The city has won innumerable awards for excellence in what it does. We have the greatest administrative team who work so closely together to bring about finite results. I can't tell you, I can't limit.
Like, what's your biggest accomplishment in transportation?
Wow. Well, on a selfish note, this is very true. I sit on the RTC, the Regional Transportation Commission, and have for years now. And of course, I'm extremely proud of that involvement. But the thing that I'm really just sort of tweaking my own cheek is I insisted to the best of our ability that once a visitor or resident came into the city, into the downtown area, that they would have free transportation. So it is called the Las Vegas Loop. This is well before Boring Company.
This is a shuttle service, basically, that extends mostly around the downtown core.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, one day, if we can afford it, but of course, growing up in Manhattan, it didn't take a genius to see that all the buses and the subways have advertisements up where you're sitting. And so advertising pays for everything, pays for the Super Bowl, you have all this. So my thought was in the beginning, because we're revitalizing all of downtown and expanding it, that while we're under this rebirth, that these buses on set schedules, which of course you can go on your own personal cell phone and look at
When the shuttle service works. Let me ask you this. Economy is a big issue for everyone. Looking back at your tenure, what do you think was the most impactful policy you had on improving the economic environment of the city of Las Vegas?
well, the redevelopment agency. That's something. Oscar was a visionary, remains one to this day. The fact that we could take this brownfield and turn it into this outstanding, I'm looking at it right now,
You're talking about Symphony Park?
Symphony
Yeah.
Park and what's happening. It's just a catalyst, but all of that had to be supported. We have so many brilliant people come in to the city, and the name Las Vegas is known worldwide. They may not know Nevada or heard of Clark County or anything, but they've heard Las Vegas regardless of what language they speak. And when they want to invest and they hear the excitement, and now we're into these sports so heavily, they want to know what's an opportunity. Now, of course, the first question when they come with their idea, that I say to them, and what do you have in the bank? And then they say, well, we were hoping we could get into an opportunity zone or something. And those or something, tax credits, really creative ways to entice the investor to look at downtown and come into it. We have centers that people are coming to who have some involvement in creating something in technology.
Sure.
And we're bursting at the seams.
And you're competing, though. You're competing with other parts of the valley to get those. Do you think you're doing a good job getting them to come to the city of Las Vegas versus the county or Henderson or even North Las Vegas?
Every part of our Southern Nevada community is phenomenal. The issue that we have here in the city is we alone are the center of government. You have the federal building, you have the state, the county, the city, all the courts, the business heartbeat. Yes, it's going out in the suburbs, and no matter where you travel in the country, you'll see that happen. Generally, the core of the city is the center of government, and for us, all roads lead to downtown. The I-15, the I-11, 95, 5.
Yeah, we are the meatball in the spaghetti bowl for sure.
Without question, and it's filled with garlic.
Cool shoes. My brother would love those.
Ooh, I don't share my sources.
Well, I just found them using Circle to search with Google on my new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6.
What?
And I texted them to my brother on the other side of this massive screen.
Where did you get that phone?
Lucky for you, I don't gatekeep my sources. Tell them.
Get your own Galaxy Z Fold 6 now at Samsung.com. Requires internet connection. Results may vary by uniqueness, clarity, and framing of circled image and related factors.
Now, two pigeons bemoaning the fact you can stream DirecTV satellite-free.
These humans can stream all the top-rated national news channels on DirecTV, and now with no satellite dish.
This just in. Weather, sports, election coverage. DirecTV has it all, but something is missing. The satellite dish.
What are you doing?
I'm reporting the news. Back to you, Bob.
Here's some news. You're a buffoon.
Stream the top-rated national news channels. No satellite dish. Visit DirecTV.com. Internet required. Top-rated news based on 2023 Nielsen ratings.
You mentioned the county. I'm just wondering, what has been most frustrating for you over the last 13 years of that notorious tension between the city and the county governments?
Sadly, it's the misunderstanding from the county. It started back because Oscar was so popular and out there. And of course, he sat on the LVCVA board, which I've been doing through my entire tenure. And there wasn't this fear, oh my goodness, the earth's going to explode because we've allowed the mayor to come out and be part of it. But I do remember when I think it was Britney Spears had specifically called my office and said she's opening and this is her manager and staff, and we want the mayor there.
Yeah,
and
this was her Planet Hollywood residency, I believe, and you showed up for giving her the key of the city, and they didn't like that.
First of all, they picked a date that I was not available. So off they went. They called back and they said, she wants the mayor there will change the date. So then the next thing is we're scheduled at Caesar's Palace, and I happen to know the then president, and I was barred from attending, to
Wow.
be perfectly honest. So I called the president, woke him up in China, and I said, "What's going on here?" And he said, "We've had a call from the county commission that the mayor is not to appear at the Britney Spears opening." And so I thought, that's just sad and too bad, because all these years we're all one, and it just became this lack of understanding that we have no axe to grind with anybody. We
Right,
never
but do you
did.
think that that is like representative of a bigger tension? I mean, Britney Spears is a small issue, but homelessness and transportation and education and economy are big issues. Do you think that tension has really created a frustration for you to be able to have done some of the things you wanted to accomplish as mayor?
We're continuing. That's the beauty of this administrative body, and has been for 25 years. We trust each other. We're all working for the same purpose, to create a world-class city and an attractive tourist, entertainment, now sports center.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it isn't happening in the city. Let me just ask you this way, Mayor. You pointed out yourself. You know, you've had successes, you've had failures. I just wonder if there's one failure that stands out as maybe your biggest disappointment during
Well,
your
it
tenure.
depends who's calling it a failure. When you ask me up front, rate yourself. You know, to me, it's about truth and respect, honesty and effort, and especially when you have the community's trust in you for something or anything. And to me, today is so packed with lack of truth. And looking at the media, I'm looking at Badlands. The Badlands development is still, after 7 years, we're still trying to work through a resolution. Now, according to the press, oh my God, look at the city. It sits there. Why don't they resolve it? Well, how about 12 meetings? How about 12 offers over a period of time that, much like what we're seeing right now, sadly, in the Middle East, that President Biden put forth a plan which Israel accepted to pursue, and Hamas each time has turned it down or absolutely taken those 29 issues and
And
said
you know,
no.
I love that you're putting the Badlands dispute on the level of the unrest in the Middle East, Mayor, like only you can. And that's truly said with respect.
It's
But
true, and it's not putting them together, as you know, that
no, I
David.
know, and
It
that's not my
is.
takeaway. But I'm wondering if the
No, that
Badlands
whole
legal
thing
dispute.
there is life and death and
Yeah,
tragedy
of
and lies.
course.
But what's happening here is it my perception and my belief, or is it what the public press and social media is trying to sell to the public? The the press, the media is destroying truth, and I can't abide that.
So what specifically is the media getting wrong about Badlands?
It's just spreading not helpful truth. It's like we've been sitting here on council. Now we're into our second or third council members by now.
Yeah.
Most of the staff that have been involved have retired. So the only two people on the council at this, I'm the only one that's been here since the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Councilman Creer was an appointed
Right. He was coming on.
planning.
Do you have regrets about how Badlands was handled by the city from the city side?
Well, you know, so you're an attorney. I am not an attorney. I believe when we started with that issue, now this is just me. I had enough information to believe at the time that Bob Piccoli's incorporation and property development was flawed. Now, that's just from talking to property attorneys around the community. That's what I was.
Are you worried, Mayor, that the city is really going to be hurting from whatever this winds up as a settlement or court
It's already hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, and to me, who are you punishing? This needed to be settled from day one. But I was always told there's an ordinance on the city books that said the city, which did so under a prior mayor, took private property and sold it to another private developer under a, the condemnation.
Right.
And when Oscar was mayor, he said, that's it. There is no condemnation unless it's for a public development, public use. You do not condemn property and take it from one private and sell it. So here we are at the first meetings on Badlands. And my belief, absolutely 100%, was that, of course, a developer could buy it. And of course, and I also have to say, I've spent many an hour before becoming mayor with Johan Lowy, who's an absolute genius, brilliant, creative, gave us...
But at the end of the day, he's going to really be hurting the city with his either settlement or his court orders.
Well, but the thing is, look at the people, look what happened. And being a layperson that I choose to call myself and a resident, and at the time, not knowing it, I knew the Las Vegas Country Club, when that legal document was created, in perpetuity has to remain a golf course.
Yeah.
In perpetuity, airtight, absolutely, legally, never going to be anything else. Unfortunately, Badlands, while it was created as golf course, didn't have to remember that. So here we are sitting, and I'm new mayor and whatever, a couple of years go by, and here comes a developer who buys the property, and we have everybody that bought property and built a house of millions.
And I think everyone knows the rest of the story, and that it's going to outlive your mayorship.
Without question.
Yeah.
But for me, the whole thing was, as I looked to the left and I looked to the right of that council, there wasn't a lawyer there. The city, the county, the state, the federal government has their own legislative bodies of law. The law prevails in this country.
So wait, let me ask you this. Are you saying we need more lawyers on city council?
I have 2 sons as lawyers. I'm married to one.
You are.
I hate lawyers.
Well, let me change gears. Let me change gears really quick.
Let me just finish it off.
Go ahead.
The legal thing is there's nobody that is equipped on the council or earlier councils to do anything other than get legal advice.
Sure.
And while that legal advice was given and the residents continued to harangue and this thing began, because the city is responsible for zoning, the city became involved, as well as sewer and all the public works and all that. So at that point, there still was nobody sitting on council that had the answer we knew was going into the courts, which is where it remains. But yes, all along, offers were made to settle. None were accepted.
Got it. All right. Let me change gears, because, you were there for the whole rise and fall of Tony Hsieh's downtown project. Were you disappointed that it never reached its promised potential?
It will. It will. The life is still there, the beauty of it all. And I hope as the estate can keep moving the property and get us out there. We hear from Ireland and we hear from people everywhere in the world that want to invest in our city.
Why do you think all the energy pivoted over to the Arts District?
Oh, because it's walkable. You can't get from hotel to hotel on the Strip, and each hotel is like a magnificent cruise ship. They have everything in the hotels. They don't want you leaving. And of course, people are people today, and they'd love to get a drink in one place and something else in another place, and then go to an antique art show, and then go into an auction house, and go to a little mini theater and walk, or go sit and go to a wonderful play at the Smith Center and sit out in the park there. People want to be with people and talk, because I think COVID just put a passion in people to touch and to feel and to be out there. And downtown is where it's at.
All right, let's go real quick here. Are you endorsing either of the candidates for mayor?
I can't. Only two, but obviously, Councilwoman Seaman, who's been working very diligently on trying to get that resolved for Badlands. She sits on my council, and I'm supposed to be nonpartisan. She happens to be a Republican. Former Congresswoman Berkeley is a Democrat, and I've known her for 50 years. And so really, I don't think this is a choice of the public getting to know what their plan, much like the presidency.
Yeah. Although we're getting close on time. I mean, you know them both well, as you state.
Yes.
So who's going to get your vote?
That's for me and my booth.
Fair. All right, let me ask it this way. Last try. What Goodman legacy projects do you hope that the new mayor continues with? And who do you think would be better at continuing the Goodman legacy of the two candidates?
Love Las Vegas, love the people, love the faiths that are shared, love the differences in all our people, and be truthful. Be truthful, and don't just be a political person that's always looking at the next job or what should I do or what's it in it for me. This is not about me, I, my. This is about we, our, us.
So between Berkeley and Seaman, who's the better candidate to carry on that legacy?
Dayvid Figler.
You're going to write me in?
I'm writing in.
Oh, nobody wants that, Mayor. All right. Mayor Goodman, you've been a great sport, and I really appreciate you taking a look back at your tenure and Mayor Oscar Goodman's tenure as well. I wish you nothing but greatness in the future, and I know you're going to be involved in the city. Any plans post-mayoral other than just taking a breath and having a little bit of fun and maybe a cocktail with your husband?
And those are all things that I intend to do. Thank you.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, go tell a friend. You can also rate our show. We like to see the 5 stars. 5 stars. Leave us a review too and subscribe to our morning newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Till then, stay lucky, Las Vegas.